I am Rick Halpern. I'm the director of the Embry Human Rights Education Program, and I'm a member of the history department here at SMU. This is the fourth in our series this fall, thematically, of the arts and human rights. And those who speak tonight should be a reminder to all of us as to how much work remains for all of us in this room and in this world to try and get us to a point where we don't have to talk about people in flight and people in fear, and we can stop talking about us and them and realize that really what we're talking about is us as a human community.
We would not be here tonight without our volunteers and speakers, so I just want to say thank you to our speakers for being here to share your stories. To our volunteers, the group from World Affairs Council, we would not be here without you. And a special thanks to Zemo and Bentley, who have put forth a tremendous effort in helping us way beyond anything we could have ever asked for, so thank you. And we really would not be here tonight without dear friends of ours who couldn't be here, Hiam and her late husband Jamal and their 3 sons. Jamal was our friend, he was our inspiration, he was our very first story that started Refugee Writers. So we remember Jamal tonight and his beautiful family, the example that they set for all of us. So with that, I'll turn it over to Justin to lead the show.
I'd like to provide just a quick introduction to not only Refugee Writers and our speakers, but also the issue of forced migration. So I'll just jump in. The issue of forced migration is deeply rooted in conflict, in natural disasters, in the failure of legal systems to adequately protect citizens. But in some sense, more fundamentally, forced migration is the violent process of alienation. Alienation through physical threat, through racism, through destroyed homes, through gender-based violence. Alienation through rendering human life bare of the qualities that we think distinguish human life.
One day I won the lottery, but it was not a money. My lottery was a visa lottery, a visa to live and work in the USA. That day I hesitated because I heard that living in the USA was very hard. But I decided to come anyway because I thought I would have an opportunity for better education. Unfortunately, I have been here for 2 years and 6 months, and I find that indeed live here is so very hard. For example, instead of having my own driver drive me from neighborhood to neighborhood so I can do my work as a technician, I am now stuck on the night shift at 7-Eleven store in a dangerous neighborhood where the risk of robbery scares me each moment. Actually, 2 months ago, an armed robbery happened to me the first time. Still, I live in fear of my life. For this, we have an Amharic saying, ሌባና ኢየሱስ መምጫቸው አይታወቅም, meaning we don't know when Jesus and thieves will come. I know life is risky wherever we are, so we have to take risks. Therefore, I know I have to make a change for the better. So I am taking another risk and I am entering a school to another technical degree because my diplomas from Ethiopia do not count here. Ashanafi, it would have been easier to come here when you were younger, about 10 years ago. I am writing to you to say this. Yes, it is very hard living in the USA.
After Qasim was assassinated, we had to leave my home because some people wanted to kill my father. My father took us to a safe place. We returned home after 15 days and discovered that some people from the new government had stolen the gold, the furniture, and my mother's jewelry. The door and the windows were broken. The people who did this were armed and had threatened the entire neighborhood. My father was placed under house arrest and was watched by the new government for 18 months. They watched his every move. He couldn't travel for 15 years. My father refused to work for the new government because they were dishonest. He was a man integrity. My father did not work for 10 years.
What America is that? What America is that? What do you eat with that? Jeans, cola, and cowboys. What do you say about that? I will swallow Texas barbecue. I will sit the airplane seats. I will strike the casino slots. To Las Vegas I am going to fly. I will ride on skis to skies to ski. To Utah I will have to go. I will suck in Niagara waterfall. To Canada I will have to run. This is America, continent with double cost. God bless America.
Our next speaker is not from Darfur. He's not from South Sudan, and he's not from the capital city, Khartoum. Sharif comes from the Nuba Mountains, a region of South Kordofan state near Sudan's border with the south. The region is named after its inhabitants, the Nuba people, with a rich, long heritage, diverse heritage, who often claim that there are 99 mountains in the Nuba Mountains, each one with its own tribe and dialect.
After 9 months of watching the crisis grew worse, I had made my decision. I knew I must leave Sudan. My uncle advised me not to take the dangerous route through desert to Libya, where many people were lost and dead on the way. Instead, he helped me to passage on train to the Wadi Halfa in northern Sudan, and from there boat to Egypt. I had no idea how I would survive there, but my fear of staying in Sudan was stronger than my fear of leaving to unknown land. I would sometimes finish my work early and go to help the lady who got a job with me. We grew closer together and she became my best friend. After a year, we decided to marry, and we have been together for 7 years, and we have two beautiful daughters and 2 more that were hers when we met. I love her very much, and she's loved me too. On June 5th, 2011, I received a call from my family member about the serious bombing in my hometown, Deleng. My young brother was among those who were bombed, and he was killed. I was so shocked. My only brother, who I trust, who was caring for my father, he killed. Oh God, what I can do. My wife was next to me, and we started crying. Since then, I've been completely cut off from my family. I don't know whether they're alive or they're dead. There's no way to contact my mother or father to express my sorrow over my brother's death. I work very hard to take care of my wife and children. And even if there was money left over to help my parents and the other family members, there's no way to send it to them. Even a donation to relief agency cannot help them because the corrupt government of Khartoum makes too dangerous to ID workers to go there to help my people with the basic supplies like food or clean water.
And in 1980, we have our first son. The Iraq-Iran war begins, and my husband is forced to work for the Army for 5 years as an electrical engineer. Our second son is born shortly after my husband has been conscripted into the Army, and our third son is born after his return. When our third child is only 20 days old, our house is destroyed by a bomb while I'm home alone with the children, but none of us are injured. Conditions in Basra are dangerous and unclean, so we flee to Baghdad, and I work in the Baghdad University. When the war ends, my husband returns to work in the private sector as an electrical engineer. However, when the Iraqi-Kuwait war begins, he is forced to work for the Army once again. My children and I run away from Baghdad. We feel sad because we're hopeless and afraid all the time. We live in very bad conditions where it is impossible to get electricity and our only water is from a dirty well. We have unhealthy food to eat. Every day passes as a year. We stay in.
When I went back to Congo, I met with women who had been raped. My career as an attorney had been fighting for women's rights in a place where women have no rights. I visit women who were living in the very city where I was raised, and they ask about their children. So I went to the village where the children were, and I found hundreds and hundreds of orphans. I could not turn away, so I took 30 out of hundreds. I could take only 30 because my budget was so limited. And I gave them house and create a life for them. These are my children, just as my sixth one that I have birth to her. Because those are Congolese children, they are my children. And Congo's women are my sisters, they are my women. I teach them to sew. I teach them the skills, how to read, how to write, so they can be able to step up on their feet. They can have the dignity back.
How lucky we are that we really don't think about the situations in these particular and other countries not represented here tonight. Most of us don't know, no one should know. Most people in this room have no clue what it means for their country to come after them, chase them, force them out, attack them, kill family members, and cause this ache. No one around the world who is here in Dallas wanted really to come here. Ideally, people want to be left alone to have their life where they're from, their family, their culture, their community. Nobody wants to be forcibly separated from that.